Hello and welcome everyone, this is 5-Star General.
This is Raelcun.
And we're here with Dawn of War 2 Daily number 8. So today we're going to work on getting the remaining 3 matches of our round robin mini tournament going. And we also have a bit of an announcement from GameReplays, so we were hoping to get the tournament going first, still working on that. Still getting things a little organized because schedules have been tossed about from other events that are occurring simultaneously. We don't know why they're occurring simultaneously, but So just give us a couple of seconds here and we will satisfy your viewing pleasures of everything you've ever wanted.
Whoa. Isn't that taking that a little bit farther, Mr. Tearing Up?
Yeah, it might. But you think we can do it?
Maybe.
Because I think we can do it.
Possibly. Could be.
There is no possibly. There is only do or do not.
What?
And Yoda, come on,
I think
man.
you got that quote wrong. There's no try.
I know there's no try. There's also no possibly. I'm sure that Yoda also said, either at some point, the try may have come in his old age.
Maybe.
So, we're pulling in Blaqk right now to go ahead and talk about the big announcement that we've got coming down the pipes here.
You sure you don't want to announce it one more time before he makes the announcement?
There's an announcement coming up that I'm going to announce before we make the announcement here. So, let's everybody welcome Blaqk, GameReplays senior referee.
Howdy, gentlemen. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
All right, spectacular. So, how do we want to go about this?
Well,
I think Tearing Up needs to announce it one last time.
Oh, I've got to announce the announcement once again. Oh, guys, Blaqk has an announcement. So, Blaqk, what is it that GameReplays has been working on since just a little bit before beta, actually? I hear it's pretty big.
Well, we've actually been working on a huge movement within the Dawn of War 2 competitive community. And what we're trying to establish is a season tournament system. And so we've created, through a labor of love of a number of staff members, the GameReplays Open Season 1, which will be kicking off in 2 weeks. Now, the way this is going to work is we're going to have 5 tournaments on a bi-weekly basis over the next 2 months to determine a 16 whatchamacallit?
Best
players? 16, yes, the 16 best players in the Dawn of War 2 competitive scene at the moment, who will then be playing in a massive Grand Finals tournament come the early June.
You need to say Grand Finals more epically. Grand Finals!
Grand Finals!
Grand Finals, kind sir. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Excellent.
But this event is going to be pretty unique in Dawn of War 2's competitive history, because not only is there going to be a significant prize pool that's going to involve both a large cash prize and possibly some memorabilia, which is always fun for those who love the Warhammer fluff, but it also is going to be covered by a number of casters live in a way that has never been seen before in the Dawn of War 2 scene. And I believe that IC Cup is actually going to be one of our featured streamers for that.
Yeah, we're definitely working on that. I know that Patrick has basically told us, just tell us when it is, and we will do our best to help out.
Excellent. But yes, and it will also be, unlike previous tournaments that have been run by GameReplays in the past, it'll be in a best-of-3 and best-of-5 format to really get a significant number of games and that tactical strategery really present in a longer series format.
Okay, so after you say it's best of 3, one of the first things that pops in the head, map pool, question mark.
The map pool right now is we're going to be changing it up on a per tournament basis. But the way we're running the map pool is, just as a side note, after this daily, there's going to be a news post with a registration thread, rules, and an overall overview of the tournament format that'll be going up on the Game Replays Dawn of War 2 portal. But in terms of map pool, what we're going to be doing is that for the best of 3 and best of 5 format, it's going to be you have a choice of either Outer Reaches, Greentooth Gorge, or Seawall Frontier for the first map, and each player has a veto. So you work with your counterpart and come up with a map, and from there it's loser's choice. And that map pool will be changing between each tournament for the opening maps so that the casters don't go absolutely insane casting the same maps over and over and over again. Because I know how much people love Greentooth Gorge.
And Seawall.
Frontier. Yeah, we certainly run into that quite a bit over here. So how exactly are you guys planning on stringing these tournaments together? You mentioned that you have 5 tournaments all leading to playoffs. How are you determining who gets into the playoffs?
Well, based on some other tournaments in the StarCraft 2 scene, we've actually formatted a point system where based on your performance in the tournament, you will actually be awarded a points number that will form into a power ranking, where the top 16 players will be able to move on to the grand final tournaments. And here, let me pull up the exact... we can leave the exact numbers till later. But it's a very clean, very streamlined system that'll allow not only for players to, over the course of the 5 tournaments, really be able to show their skill and have the most deserving players possible be awarded seeds into the grand finals, but it also allows for a fun little power ranking system throughout the tournament. So there's that nice little competition to see who is truly the best player in Dawn of War 2 at the moment. So I'm excited for that.
That does sound exciting, actually. I mean, I really like the idea of having like a persistent series of like tournaments, you know what I mean? Like where you can actually kind of like follow how players are doing and see whether or not they're actually going to get into like the playoffs. I find like really awesome. Like it's not like one of those just one-off, one-shot kind of deals.
Yeah, it's very much so like a real-life sporting event in that regard, where you have the general season and then the playoffs. And that just makes everything more exciting for pretty much everyone involved.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
So when is the first tournament starting? You said 2 weeks. That would be...
It's going to be kicking off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of not this weekend, but next weekend. So that'll be the Friday, March 25th, Saturday, March 26th, and Sunday, March 27th.
All right. Trying to think if there's anything else we should be asking you about this and our great inquisitorial powers.
Cool. Do you have a big epic name for this yet? Like that we can say in epic voice a couple of times?
Let's see. It's the Game Replays Open season. So
the Game Replays Open season.
Open season. Friday. Also, Saturday and Sunday. Be there. Oh, speaking of which, how many players will you be allowing in the tournament? Each tournament?
Open registration is going to go up to 128 players. Now, we'll see if we will get that many, but that's what we're planning on at the moment.
So, with that many players allowed in, open registration, no restrictions on who can join, to my knowledge, outside of, I'd assume that there may be some Game Replays restrictions, like, don't do anything stupid like get banned from the site. But other than that, I'd assume rather open. So basically, if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking about playing Dawn of War 2 competitively, this is a really great opportunity to go ahead, get your feet wet, get a good chance to get some high quality games in, right? Play against some high level players. Maybe even, not. I mean, I have no clue. I mean, figure out where you stand in the community, because you get a decent feel on ladder, but not a real feel, I don't think.
Yeah. And also there's the allure of being casted and having your replays reviewed and things like that.
And
And
that,
who knows how well you can
Also,
do.
there's the possibility that even if you're not so great, you could get your face smashed in by like Kiltos or Texanius or somebody just really good could
Yeah.
run into them in the bracket and be like, "Oh wow, that was fun."
Yeah. And another thing I want to stress with this kind of thing is the implication of having a season is that this is going to be repeating. So this is the start of something very, very big in the Dawn of War 2 competitive community. And I am so excited to be here at the inception of this. So
Do we need to go deeper?
you can always go
Sorry.
deeper.
I'm sorry. I had to say
someone
it.
get the music.
I had to.
Get the
I
music.
had to say it. I'm
Where's the
sorry.
music?
Can either of you impersonate a foghorn effectively?
No. But I can try.
Probably not very well. Why?
That Inception foghorn, just like the...
Jerome.
Exactly.
Jerome. And that's about as good as I can do it. I'm sorry, everyone. If that hurt your ears, it's all my fault. But
Yeah, this is your fault.
yeah, it's all my fault. No, this is all Lockar's fault.
Everything's
Sick.
Lockhart's fault.
Yeah.
Always.
Actually, he'd probably say that everything's my fault, but that's an old joke.
But he's not here, so it's his fault because
he can't
argue.
defend himself. Yes.
Exactly.
Kick him while he's down.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you very much, Blaqk. And I guess I should probably point out that I'm not entirely an angel in all of this. I am, like, the admin of the Dawn of War 2 section of Game Replays now, so I've been kind of sitting on this for a little bit, so kind of knew, like, oh, big announcement coming up, guys. I know what it is, but I can't tell you.
Dastardly person! How could
Oh,
you?
no! I backstabbed the community!
You
I don't-
dastardly fellow.
I'm not sure I can talk to you anymore.
I'm right now maniacally stroking my beard goatee. It's
Do
actually
you
been
have
growing.
a long-haired white cat on your lap as well?
No, I need to get one of those. Actually, they didn't have any at the Evil Villain store.
Out of stock. That's pretty sad. They take a while to get back stock on that, so might be a while before you can get one.
Yeah, I heard it takes about what is it like about 3 months? Is it?
That's the usual turnover rate for villains, so yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so I guess where I was going with all this was that it is a really big thing for game replays and hopefully for the entire community. I know a lot of competitive players have been asking for more tournaments that are, with all due respect to ESL, that are not ESL. They've been doing a great job holding down the fort as best they can, but they really need some support in that category. We need more tournaments for the community, so this is going to be the first of Game Replay's efforts to really get in there. Like Blaqk mentioned that there's going to be power rankings kind of during the tournament through the point system, but then also this tournament, among other stuff going on, is going to kind of allow Game Replays to get in at a much deeper kind of like. I constantly look at Team Liquid because I'm a big StarCraft Brood War fan, and just kind of like what they do for like Brood War in the West, right? Like outside of Korea. Like despite that, like nearly all of the major events take place in Korea, there's just a relatively huge following for it outside of Korea because number one, it's just incredibly fun to watch, and number two, it's just pretty awesome. So, and they kind of like make that happen with just a bunch of things, like variety of things, and just a lot of stuff that can be kind of being brought over to Dawn of War 2. I kind of feel like one of the things that I really like that they do is they have power rankings, which are in some ways kind of callous. It's like, oh, so we're gonna rank the top players in the world down into like the top 10. So like all these guys are already really good, really trying their heart out, and then we're gonna even like rank them even worse when they have bad months. Oh, all the power rankings and stuff. But in reality, it kind of gives fans a really nice way to be able to get in on the ground floor, sort of like pick up like who's there, what's happening, how things are going right now, how their favorite players and stuff are doing, and just like stuff, persistent things like that start to allow you to really kind of follow players and other things, and just kind of make the whole experience more persistent. And pervasive, I think, are things that Game Replays is certainly going to be interested in from here on out. Of course, right now we don't have anywhere near the data available to make any kind of power rankings, but hopefully, like, the Game Replays Open season will be one of the things that will allow us to do that.
For sure. That's definitely one of the goals. 5-star, can you talk a little bit about how our objectives with the casting situation as well? Because you were talking some about having a persistent thing for fans to be able to access. And I think what you've been talking a lot about in the staff forums about the casting is a big part of that. So say a few words on that.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do with the casting for the Game Replays Open season is I was like actually I'm trying to think of whether or not I was staff when we had the last Game Replays tournament about a year ago.
That was me.
Yeah, I know.
That was it.
I know it was you, but like I'm not sure if I was staff at all. So if I even got to see the staff side of it. I think I was like just a writer at that time. So I think I was just barely working my way up the ladder. But one of the things that struck me about that tournament was we had a really nice tournament, decent prize pool and everything. Seemed like we had pretty good organization, ran it pretty well. By and large, successful tournament. But like there was no real-time casting of the tournament at all, and I just felt like to anyone who wasn't participating in the tournament, like myself, but who was like interested in the outcome of the tournament, it just didn't feel like, I don't know, it almost didn't even feel like it was happening. It just felt like something that happened somewhere else, which like
on another planet.
Yeah, like on a site that I was a part of, even in a community that I was a part of. And so one of the things that I really want to make sure when we decided to do the Game Replays Open season was that we would be able to cast the games in real time and do a lot of casting. Make not just the finals, not just the semifinals, not even the round of 8, but like from the round of 128 all the way down to the finals for every tournament, to just get as much casting as we possibly can. So what we're trying to do, and we're definitely, now that we've announced this, we're going to go ahead and shore up all of our casting partners and everything. But we want to get all the details set, all the everything else first, and then we'll go ahead and confirm everything. So, but tentatively, our casting plans are we want to have a main stream. I'm not sure where I will be in all of this, but I will be casting on one of these streams. But anyway, we want to have a main stream. Definitely that'll feature Harlequin and possibly myself, possibly someone else. We'll figure that out. And then we're also hoping that iCup will be able to devote the time to act as a second main stream. Basically, these would be the two streams that are going to be active up through the semifinals. The main stream would be the one, obviously, going into the finals, where there's only one match to cast. And then obviously the semifinals will have like all matches available. So basically, anytime we want to give viewers like maximum choice of what they're watching. So besides even the main streams, we're also looking at having like tertiary streams with maybe not as well-known casters, newer casters, maybe even not as good or whatever, but certainly like learning, they can definitely become better, right? And so to kind of like do our best to, number one, give them a chance, and number two, give a much greater array of players a chance to be featured and showcased, and just kind of overall just contribute to that feeling of this is a huge event going on now. So that's basically how we're trying to do the casting. I'm not sure if you have anything to add to that, Blaqk, or...
You did a very excellent job of outlining everything I wanted to hear.
Awesome. So, and then Raelcun, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Does he get a cookie now? Like, good job tearing up. Here's a cookie. Num 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 num.
How about a golf clap? A little golf clap.
I've got half.
Okay.
I've got half a Devil's Food donut behind me. I could finish that.
But we just have to get the positive reinforcement to our good admin here for doing a good job with explaining everything. Gotta make sure he realizes that's a good job.
Yeah, it's a reward system, positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm trying to think of anything else that's worth noting. 5-star. Do you want to go over a little bit on the? Well, we'll save that.
All
We've
right.
also got some rules
Uh-oh.
changes. We've got some.
Mysterious.
Oh, the okay, yeah, like the community fixing clause in the
Yes.
rules.
Yes.
Uh-oh, what?
All right,
Doesn't-
because this is going to be an issue for a lot of people. We may as well just get it out there now. So number one, we're still waiting on Tex and Edja to get here anyway, so we've got some time, people. Don't worry, we're not using up valuable like tournament time on the over here. I wish we were actually, because that'd be nice. But seems like something is really throwing things off at the moment. Anyway, though, but yeah. So what Blaqk is talking about is, well, actually, Blaqk, you can go ahead and talk about exactly what happened with the last Game Replays tournament.
All right. So the last Game Replays tournament was run last summer over the course of a few weekends, and despite having very clean organization, and that comes from feedback, not from me tooting my own horn, and
I'll
from
toot his
a
horn
very
and tell you it was clean.
and
Squeaky,
a very like significant prize pool. I believe it was a graphics card worth over $500 and some secondary prizes as well. We had a no-show rate of almost 50%, despite constant reminders and updates and things like that. And that has been indicative of the Game Replay, or not even the GameReplays.org community, but the Dawn of War 2 community in general. So I'll explain the origin of this idea a little bit, but one of the neat things I found with the announcement of the NASL, which is the North American StarCraft League, which, for those of you that don't know, is an effort to bring StarCraft 2, high-level StarCraft 2 games to the North American continent in a way to rival and perhaps even supersede the Korean scene. And Raelcun, you can correct me there if you want to there. But the idea in that tournament is that each player has to fork up $250 as a deposit that they lose if they are no-shows and if they are ridiculously BM and fight against the tournament organizers. Now, we're not asking for a cash deposit. That would be ridiculous for our scene and needs. But what we are instituting is a rule that if you are a no-show, then you're barred from participation in the tournaments for 3 to 6 months, which basically is the course of 1 to 2 seasons. So there are significant repercussions for not paying the respect and professionalism that is I'll restart that sentence because
okay, so let me give you a second to think for it by asking you a question. Like, how is this going to work? Is there a check-in period after registration so that, like, if something comes up, you can just not check in? Or, like, how is that going to happen? Because some tournaments don't have check-in times and such, and then people would be afraid. But what if, like, an emergency comes up? How do they, like, let you guys know?
I'm going to be making myself available via PM and email. For the way we're going to work this is that if you're a no-show without a prior acknowledgement or like throwing a line towards the Game Replays tournament administrative staff, then you will incur the punitive measures that we've been talking about. But even if you just send a little PM like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, everything is completely fine. We also have a very, very tried and true clean check-in system where we run 2 Steam chats. 2 Steam chats run from 2 Steam groups. One for official administrative stuff and one for just general chat and organizing games that you will be required to both join and be in a half an hour prior to when games start on the day. And there will also be constant reminders. Like, I will be personally PMing every single participant in this tournament with their match times and everything at the start of this. And there will also be Steam announcements, and I'm even adding in a system for email reminders in addition. So there's no excuse to be missing a game because you quote-unquote forgot. And we are very, very open and welcoming and understanding to any problems that may arise. We are just trying to establish an air of professionalism with this competitive scene that simply hasn't been there in the past. And we are going to get some flack for it, but at the same time, it's a step that needs to be taken to really make this into a true competitive scene.
Yeah, I agree. It's just not viable to have such a high no-show rate. So certainly, I mean, the measures sound like they are fair, I believe. There shouldn't be too many situations where you can't get a PM off in advance of not being able to show up. So
yes, like it's not designed to screw players over. It's simply there to like. Okay, personally, having that many no-shows at that tournament last summer was very, very disappointing coming from a tournament organizer standpoint after putting the dozens of hours in to make that tournament happen, secure prizes, all that stuff, only to have people just be like, I won't show up. So it's a matter of respect, and that's something that is crucial to any healthy community for a game.
completely agreed. So that all sounds good. I don't believe there's anything much else to talk about. I'm sure that those may as well come up, and I'm sure someone's going to bring that whole thing up at some point and complain.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we've already had a bit of fighting in the staff form about it, but
yeah,
it's like
on this one.
With the basic registration followed by check-in thing, if you register and you decide you don't want to go, just don't finalize your registration, you know. For most people, it's not really going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So everybody's thinking, oh my god, that's so harsh. It's not really going to come up very often unless somebody's just sitting there and they just don't want to play, and then they don't even message GameReplays like, oh hey, I can't play. It's just that as a tournament organizer, which I did myself for StarCraft for quite some time, that getting some form of notice is all the tournament organizer wants, and that's all they're really asking for.
Yeah, exactly. So, shall I do the wrap-up spiel?
definitely.
All right, so thank you all for listening and hearing a bit about our huge plans for the GameReplays Open Season 1. Registration, rules, and an overview of the general format will be going up within a few hours on the GameReplays.org portal, as well as a general discussion thread for any questions, comments, concerns, threats, anything you'd like to say about the tournament, any questions you have. We are going to be incredibly hands-on with this process, and we'll be with you every step of the way with any concerns or questions you have. So thank you for listening. Thank you, both of you gentlemen, for having me on.
Oh, no problem.
And enjoy the daily to all listening.
All right, thank you very much for coming on and helping us out with that, Blaqk. Good luck continuing to organize the tournament, and have fun writing those news posts tonight. I can tell you firsthand how fun those things can be sometimes.
Oh, I love formatting these things. It's so much fun.
I know. You get to hit that preview button about 40 times just to make sure that everything's right.
And God help you if you accidentally click the exit button or to a different link and lose
or if
everything.
you hit post instead of preview on accident, and then you've got like a half-done thing up there, and you're like, no!
Yeah. Thankfully, I can sneaky invisible it. Well, actually, all of the portals, or all of the posts are already up. They're just sitting there invisible while I do my monkey work on it. So, I've learned my lesson. Already screwed that up once.
Trixie.
Man,
yes.
I haven't seen these things yet. Not doing a good enough job as administrator.
Yeah, not paying enough attention there.
Must roll with a greater iron fist. No, okay, we're good.
Were they out of those at the Supervillain store too?
Yeah, not that they weren't.
Greater Iron Fist of +5 Supreme Ship, you know?
They were expensive though, man, I tell you. I just couldn't justify the cost then, but now I'm not sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. should take a page out of the mistress's book. She ruled. Oh dear, Ninja Butter.
Oh, she
But
still
yes,
she still
love her
does
to
it
bits.
occasionally. On a random
yes.
night. On a random night.
For giggles, for giggles.
For giggles,
But
indeed.
yes, I will be signing off now. Have a great daily, guys, and great talking to you.
All right, thank you very much.
I'm
Thanks for
waving
coming
at
on
you,
the show.
even though you can't see it. So bye, Blaqk.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Alright, so unfortunately we still only have Kelsey 4 and Steve Budd here, which would be the same matchup we had on Monday. Still trying to figure out why Edge is not even online, and what's going on with Tex.
Yeah, I'm too bad with orcs to just talk in a green voice and pretend that he's here. That wouldn't work very well. You'd be able to tell very quickly, because Tex is actually really good at orcs, and I'm terrible. So I'm sorry I can't help you out there. Players were reminding us that Tex, he has a family and something might have come up, but we got no idea. So
Yeah. So at this point I am half ready to just go through my friends list and go, yo dog, you want a show match right now? Because obviously I had nothing else planned today because there shouldn't have been any issue with this whatsoever. This is This is kind of that issue we're talking about with no-shows in the community, unfortunately, though. Just a little bit of prior notification would be absolutely awesome in these kinds of circumstances. And I just realized I forgot to turn Steam notifications off, but whatever. Actually, no, I've got time. I can go ahead and do that. There we go. Actually, no, I don't want to do that because if someone actually gets on, I want to hear their Steam message.
You want to see Tex logging in if he does?
I want to see it. Well, he's actually logged in. He's in Retribution, but he's always in Retribution. I mean, from the time the beta ended until the Harlequins pre-release event, Tex was, quote, playing Dawn of War 2 Retribution beta. He literally never closed the beta until that event, and he won 2 matches in the event, and then I believe he
got kicked off of Steam.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was that or if it was just like I don't want to call it a memory leak because it's not really a classic memory leak, even if it is some kind of memory leak. But whatever it is, the bug that the more you play, the longer the load times are and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it may have just been something like when you have your game on for like 4 or 5 days straight.
that could be something with having your computer on for 4 or 5 days straight as well. That can cause some issues too.
Yeah, he may have just crashed from it. So, but I don't know. But it was just kind of funny. It was like, oh, Tex is really dedicated to the beta there when no one else is on it. But
yeah.
Yeah. So Tex having the game up, unfortunately, isn't really indicative of whether or not he's actually at his keyboard. So I think I will see at this point. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure what we're going to do about the round robin tournament because this does throw things a little off, and we don't
Maybe have them finish their games whenever they can, and we'll do the replays and like just bump everything back a day or something. Because we're having so many scheduling issues that while it's nice to do it live, it's nice to make sure it gets finished at the same time.
Yeah, we could probably definitely do that. Yeah, we'll definitely explore some of those options. So right now, Calzi4 is saying to ask Trojan and Aki, so I'll ask him if he wants to go ahead and ask Trojan because I don't have his contact info.
Mm-hmm.
So we will get something for your viewing pleasure up pretty shortly, one way or another, even if I have to hop in here myself in POV.
Oh, it's better than me POVing. Whiplash messaged me in StarCraft 2 the other day, and he wanted to know if I was better at Dawn of War 2 than you or not. I told him probably not.
Yeah, he came in and asked me that when he saw me uploading the videos to YouTube. So he was asking, I'm like, oh yeah, Raelcun and Blaqk are the other 2 casters, and He's like, oh, how's Raelcun at Dawn of War 2? I'm like, I don't know. I never really played him.
Not so good. It's just basically an issue if I don't play it enough. But, you know, that's the same issue I have with StarCraft 2 as well.
Raelcun, are you
Oh,
shredding something right now, or?
That's somebody in the room. Yeah, hang on.
So right now, Raelcun is shredding his life's documents. He apparently needs to get out of the...
hey. Somebody came in and started using the shredder in there. It's like, can you do that later? Maybe.
Alright, so Aki is pulling a text right now. Apparently it's in-game.
As cats would say from Root Gaming, fake AFK.
Let's see, I could even ask Drunial at this point, maybe. And Ghilgamesch, I'm in a cast! Although, not an arm cast or a leg cast or a body cast or anything like that. But no, I cannot 1v1 or 2v2, you're right. Well, no, he doesn't do show matches. Oh, I could ask him.
Who?
Ghilgamesch, my 2v2 partner. Well, let's try, actually. I'm figure it out. He's honestly, he should be plenty good enough, but preferably not against me, just because that would break down our whole casting system at the moment. We'd have to actually go ahead and switch the stream over to Raelcun just to do that.
If what happened?
If I had to go in POV.
But it wouldn't be POVing if I switched over to streaming. Then it would be just you playing.
But yeah, that's what I was saying, like, you'd be streaming, oh right, derp, yeah. My bad. I mean, we'd have a tough, it'd be tough to commentate. And then, actually, I might be able to turn you off on Skype, whatever. But then you wouldn't have my camera, okay, but it would be all messed up, alright.
Yeah, so it's not gonna work.
Thinking out loud for the win.
I'm just poking holes in all your thoughts. Diamond has an idea, and he always comes first to me because I just poke holes all over. And he just it's like, okay, here it is. Do your worst. I'm good at doing that. But it's good to have somebody like that around when you're organizing stuff or planning events who can just look at it and say, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. Fix this, fix that. That's going to be an issue.
Alright,
so it's not like I'm trying to be annoying. I'm helping, honest.
So Ghilgamesch is going to hop on and try this out, so...
Uh-oh, who is he taking on?
He seemed to be interested in Steve Budd. I don't know if he's really that interested in playing IG versus Eldar, though. I don't know if he's switching back to Space Marines at this point or not, though. He was going Lord General Imperial Guard for Retribution. But doing a pretty good job of it too. I swear trying to deal with them, because 2X Sentinel as K-Nob Orcs was really pissing me off. So
double Sentinel across the sky.
Yeah, it's a little brutal for orcs early on, but then again, I've adjusted my build order since then. So
well, I get the general idea that it's a little tough for most people against IG early on. They just have a really good early game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can, or they can kind of decide whether or not to have a good early game, and you know, double Sentinel certainly is.
Yeah.
Ooh, so Kelsifor is going to look to go Imperial Guard, maybe. All right, this is going to be interesting. So we're just going ahead and getting the map vetoes from both players right now. So for those of you not familiar with Ghilgamesch, which is probably just about everyone here, he is my usual 2v2 partner, actually a really good player all around. He actually, was it Intel, I believe, or was it Alienware, had a tournament about a year ago, like right after Chaos Rising came out, I believe. And
Alienware was a little bit later, so...
Yeah, it was the one that Blaqk was in, too.
Well, I mean... Blaqk won the Alienware one, but that was the US only tournament, or whatever.
Oh, was it just US only?
There were like country restrictions. I don't remember what they were, but
okay. Well, it was still a pretty big. It had 128 players in it. I remember that much. Well, anyway, Ghilgamesch got really far in that. He just unfortunately his mouse crapped out against Helic, and then he actually beat Blaqk, and then his mouse kind of gave out against Helic, and then had to face Blaqk in the losers bracket again, and just was not really, his heart wasn't really in it. Okay, there he is. Alright, so we're going to have an extra observer just for, extra observer is totally awesome, but we may be able to cycle these guys in here, get a few games in, probably go, Raelcun, if it's okay with you, probably go a little over the usual daily time.
Well, I mean, I've got a cast starting at 7, so I actually can't.
Okay. Well,
so if it goes over 7, you're just gonna have to be by yourself.
Alright, well, I'll solo over 7. So it seems like Calzifor is vetoing Calderas. And just waiting for Ghilgamesh's veto here. So yeah, if we go, I'll go to 7:30. So all right, so that's gonna be veto of Greentooth Gorge. So we're gonna
be on Seawall. So you actually don't have to change anything.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good guess when you host the game, just to drop it on Seawall and see if they disagree with you or not.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of, well, actually, it was on Astra Typhon, usually is what I put it on, but I don't know why it's on Seawall today, actually. Oh, no, it is. It was yesterday.
Since we played last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been playing since then, so I thought that I might have hosted something, but no, I apparently have only played Last Stand and Ranked since then, so... Play some twos.
Sad that my Last Stand data didn't import when it was supposed to.
Didn't? You can email Relic about that.
Oh, you can? Interesting.
Yeah, and supposedly they will do their best to help recover it, I think. I know they were doing it for like regular ranks, and I think...
My army data imported fine, which is not really a big deal, seeing as it was all low level anyway, but... leveling up from 1 again in Last Stand is really annoying.
Oh yeah, well I'm at like 17 right now at the Lord General, and I mean I finally got my Farseer and Sorcerer to 20, and I'm just kind of like... No, I'm not going to master status or anything. I'm not prestiging. Why would I want to do that? Like, being at level 17 with one hero is plenty enough to go like, yeah, I'm at level 17. All I want to do is be level 20. Alright, so we are loaded in here. And this game is getting started. We have Ghilgamesch in the top right here. Not top right, regular right. As Force Commander, Calzifor is going Lord General and getting out a Sentinel immediately.
Yeah, no real big surprise there, going for a quick Sentinel. One thing he's going to have to worry about is what we saw the other day, was the Sentinel on this map in particular can have some issues with the fact that the center is pretty open, so while you're running around decapping everything, your Sentinel can very easily start taking fire from multiple directions at the same time, and with the fact that it's not actually a vehicle, for people who are not familiar, that's
just
bad.
Heavy infantry. So it does take only 66% damage from bullets, but at the same time, it is still vulnerable to them, I guess I would say, as opposed to vehicles take like almost nothing from bullets. So we are going to see these scouts getting chased by the Sentinel here. They're going to go ahead and make good use of this garrison. The Sentinel is going to go ahead and have to waste its stomp on the tactical Space Marines. That's important, in my opinion, because we are seeing a Force Commander from Ghilgamesch here. So that Force Commander now doesn't have to worry about the stomp from this Sentinel, but this other Sentinel here is in training. So we're actually seeing a 2 Sentinel build from Calzifor against Gilgamesh's Force Commander Space Marines. A little interesting again because it's a little dangerous because tactical Space Marines, we mentioned that the Sentinel's vulnerable to bullets, even though it's only heavy infantry, right? But tactical Space Marines have Kraken bolts, which actually do bonus damage to heavy infantry. They were originally implemented in Chaos Rising in order to make sure that tactical Space Marines defeat Chaos Space Marines in ranged combat. But basically what that does in a couple of other matchups is it kind of, I don't want to say screws things up, it actually adds an interesting tactical component, but it makes the Sentinel really kind of like, the second that these tactical Space Marines turn on it, it's very dangerous. The Sentinel's going to go ahead and stomp. He only gets tactical Space Marines, though. The Force Commander is still kind of following into the building there, though. So now the Force Commander is going to go ahead and chase the Sentinel. These Taxo pop Kraken bolts are still firing, and now we're going to see a second stomp go in. We actually may be able to, no, maybe not a second stomp. We see the Sentinel is following. He's not really doing anything. These tactical Space Marines are really just doing a great job of eating up time. We see Ghilgamesch does a great job eating the stomp, and he's going to retreat. I really can't commend this enough because, but he's
he also, like, as soon as he saw the second Sentinel, started building a second tack squad. So just like you were saying, how the tacks are going to do quite well against the Sentinels. Right as his first tack squad was forced away without even losing much, like, they're both pretty low. Could have easily lost the second model there. The other tack squad's going to be on the field to try and help deal with these Sentinels, and if he does keep doing a good job with these Sentinels, keeping them away with the tacks, then a lot of the power of the early 2 Sentinel build is going to be sort of deflated by the tacks.
Yeah, now we do see he also pulled out a fully upgraded shotgun scout squad here, and he did try and get a grenade on the Sentinel. If you can land that grenade on the Sentinel, it is pretty big. Now he's got to watch this scout squad here, and he is going to go ahead and retreat it. Took pretty heavy loss on it, but again, he's doing a good job of distracting these Sentinels. They're able to decapture the middle here, but they're not really able to put any other kind of pressure on. Looking at Calzifor's resources, though, looks like he might... Oh, Ghilgamesch saying, whoops, that's GG. I don't know, he says this a lot, guys, so don't take him seriously with this.
Yeah, I mean, his Force Commander went down, but, I mean, he's doing alright.
If he can get one of these Sentinels, which is certainly possible, he's forcing both off here, and he's going to have no problems forcing this Guardsman squad off. If he can take one of those down, then, he's certainly in this game. He's in a position to go ahead and Generator bash Calzifor left and right, basically on a whim here. We do see these Guardsmen circling around, though. Are they upgrading? No, they're not upgrading Flamers.
Going for the building. Can they get in there?
They are indeed going to get in the building, but there's shotgun scouts here with Sergeant upgrade with grenades, so he's got to watch out for that. And we do see the...
Grenade?
Oh, actually, one of the Sentinels was sniped, by the way. We weren't looking, and the grenade goes off, does take out quite a few Guardsman models. And now we got it retreating here, and the Tacks are going to go ahead and take the building now. We do have Catechins coming out at the same time, though, but I believe Ghilgamesch has the force to be able to deal with this pretty well. So, same time here, he's got to watch out for this Lord General here. He's going to retreat his tactical Space Marines away. So Lord General is force melee and the Tacks, which, if the Tacks were full health, they could probably stand up to it. We just go ahead and see the Shotgun Scouts here with the Shotgun Blast, and now they're actually going to go ahead and force melee. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. But now the Tacks are going to go ahead and support. And we do have
I mean, there's not a whole lot going on right now that's out of the ordinary. Oh, he does take out one of the Stormtroopers in exchange for one of the Scouts.
Oh, he's got to get out of here, though. These Catechins will tear these Tactical Space Marines apart if he doesn't retreat. He does see that the Catechins are there. Now he is retreating. And Ghilgamesch, he's got his hero a little idle there, but okay, now it's moving. In the meantime, we do see his natural requisition points being decaptured, but Tactical Space Marines are coming up. Ghilgamesch should be able to bleed down this command squad here for Calzifor, the Lord General there. That is actually a significant drain. It costs 25 requisition to reinforce per model that's killed off. And we see the Lord General is getting really close to dying here. He's just letting it sit there. He's trying to get the full cap off. He is going to lose at least 50 requisition for that. Probably is going to cost Ghilgamesch quite a bit more in the meantime, though. And the Force Commander here is in a big, thick of trouble here. He's got to watch out for these Catechins on retreat. He's got support coming in. That Force Commander is just retreating absolutely the wrong way. But he's got support coming in. The 2 Tactical Space Marines coming in. He's got the Scouts from the right side. They're going to come... Oh, they're right on top of the Catechins. I'm not sure he realizes that.
You don't want to.
Oh, he's spiking a grenade! But he does lose a model because of that. But he does force Catechins to retreat. So again, he's able to kind of take back map control here with that. And both players kind of even. Ghilgamesch is going to need to work on his power, though. But you see pretty decent power income from Calcifor here. And interestingly, it's spread out. We see he's got a fair bit of power farm up top. And he just noted his main one here. And again, we don't see any kind of flamers on the Tactical Space Marines here or anything for Ghilgamesch. Although we do see Armor of Alacrity and Iron Halo coming down, interestingly. I have not seen too much of that from Ghilgamesch, honestly.
Yeah, he used that Halo there, charging into that big group of Imperial Guard, trying to disrupt it a little bit. But I guess that much concentrated fire, the bubble just didn't last very long. So
yeah,
he's going to have to make a little bit better use of that. His commander barely made it out of there, so he did manage to get what he was trying to get done, but it was very, very risky. He only got away with about 15 health. And, you know, you can see that, you know, Kelsey just keeping mostly his army together.
Oh, but we do see these Catechins could be in a bad position here if Ghilgamesch turns around. He actually said, this is kind of interesting. A lot of players will say you can't engage Catechins in melee. But we see here the Force Commander is just saying, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to go ahead and use my Bubble Shield to give me some extra durability in melee. And we see these Shotgun Scouts are able to keep them suppressed, keep them away from the Tactical Space Marines, allow them to engage at range, force the Catechins off. And now the rest of what's here should be... Oh, but we have Flamer Guardsmen going for Gilgamesh's Generator Farm. This is huge. He does not have enough for Tier 2. He's not even necessarily close enough for Tier 2. Calcifor is getting very close to being able to afford Tier 2. This Gem Bash could be absolutely huge. We're seeing the Tactical Space Marines are mobilizing to support. They just got their third out. They're moving up. But will they get there in time? It doesn't seem like they'll get there in time, even though Gilgamesh was able to force the Lord General away. And we have game over. I'm assuming that's Ghilgamesch conceding?
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Conceded. I think when he charged it on the Catechins there, his Halo actually blocks the shotgun blast, because I thought I heard him using that ability, but of course, you know, the Force Commander didn't go anywhere since his Halo was up. And yeah, Ghilgamesch giving in pretty quickly there. I don't know, he was starting to do a decent job of possibly turning that around.
Yeah, kind of, you know, unfortunately he was not able to defend that generator bash there, but
It looked like Kelsey was attacking ground in between the generators, so they're actually going down pretty slow. You don't actually need to do that anymore. Like, he was firing right between the two gens, and they were both barely losing health, so he had plenty of time to get over there and try and defend it if he really wanted to go for it.
yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were going down slower, as you mentioned. That could have been a reason why. But I see Calcifor is pretty happy with his Guardsman Flamers, you know, right there. So he was able to sneak them in back there. That was kind of the killing blow. Oh, no, he's saying that it's less than all every other faction. Man, I'm confused exactly what Kells is trying to say here. He seems to be contradicting himself. So Steve Budd is apparently going to head off as well. So let's see if we can get someone else in here to face Calcifor, maybe Ben Eater.
They're playing a little bit of race swapping at the moment. We'll see where they actually stop.
So Kelsey seems to be going back to Tyranids, although Ben Eater doesn't seem to really want to play with it. Gilgamesh here for more. So, alright, I'll work on getting Gilgamesh in here.
I've always wondered about the orc versus mid matchup, because the fact that orcs generally tend to rule by who's the biggest and who's the greenest. A lot of the mid stuff is pretty big and green.
Not green enough.
Yeah, I guess not green enough.
Not green enough, and that's terrible.
And you know, of course, there's those upgrades, meaner and greener. It's a big deal for the orcs, you know.
It is
you
huge.
get greener.
It actually lets you be invulnerable for a short period of time. So yeah.
I've always liked that. That's how they separate themselves. It's not just the biggest, but also the greenest. Orcs are amusing.
That they are. So we're trying to get Ghilgamesch in here for some moral support for Ben Eater, so that we can satisfy the requirements for Ben playing. Again, we got a couple of players here not quite as well known, going up against much better known player of Cal's 4. Again, not players really that either play a ton competitively at the moment. Honestly, I feel like if they kind of put a little more time into it, they definitely could. And again, like I know I said, Ghilgamesch certainly has in the past. So used to play Tyranids as his main race, Imperial Guard for a bit, and well, Space Marines in between then. I know he likes those 3 races basically.
It seems Ben is trying to back off and make you play, so you need to talk to him here.
Well, I'm trying to get Ghilgamesch. Alrighty then.
Sorry. Sounds like that's what you're going for.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was going for, honestly.
I fixed it. It's okay.
We've got 30 minutes left. Time for one match. Let's see. Let's see who's on right now that wants to hop in here. Because if I have to hop in, we're going to have to go and do all sorts of wacky streaming stuff. That won't be fun.
Nope, not really.
So, let's see here. Gonna go ahead. Almost want to ask IST as well. Probably could. It's kind of where I'm getting to at this point.
Who?
It's sexy time.
Oh, okay.
I think Spirit is busy with the same thing that either Tex and other people are busy with. So.
Thank you.
And I hope that's delicious, by the way.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
So maybe might possibly have ice.
Maybe.
Alrighty, I got ice.
Yay!
So
Kelsey's offering to play against the computer.
I would hop in there before that, as messy as it might be.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a very good match. Don't just a hunch there. I think Kelsey could take any computer we could throw at him pretty easily.
I really hope he can. Otherwise, I think all of us will question our skills in relation to computers. I don't even know, but so we're just getting the map vetoes in really quickly. Calderis is still a big veto from Calzy 4.
Which is interesting given that he's currently using that hero, which isn't too bad on Calderis.
Yeah, so they both veto Calderis, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it on Greentooth Gorge then.
He's talking about the Warp Spider Exarch living on Calderis, but Ice is chaos at the moment.
Yeah, we did see Edge absolutely wreck Steve Budd's Warp Spider Exarch on Calderis yesterday, though. So
I think that was, yeah, he did a really good job of that, but it was partially misplay on Steve Budd's part. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many times out of 10 that strategy would work that Edge had tried, but it certainly came with a map-specific strategy, and he did manage to pull it off. So certainly, it's possible. For other aces and other heroes and such. So Ice is just taking a quick pregame drink break stretch event thingy, I suppose. So we'll let him go ahead and do that real fast, and we're gonna use Greentooth Gorge because they both veto Calderis, which gives me the choice, which is we just
saw Seawall,
so
we're gonna go to Greentooth.
So all right, seems like everyone is ready. Ice JT is back, so number one, I want to thank all the players so far that have come in to help us out in our time of need, courtesy of a couple of players not showing up today. So both players are ready, and we're going to go ahead and get this underway. And I just really quickly need to tell IST that we've got our replacement, so gonna go ahead and start. And here we go, starting on Greentooth Gorge. So I don't think I really need to explain the map at all. We've seen this 1,000 times, probably at least.
Whoa. I mean, this is a new and groundbreaking map here, 5-star General. This has never been seen before on a Dawn of War 2 cast. Okay, no. I can't continue that much longer.
This is a good donut, by the way.
Good donut?
Yeah, good donut.
So we'll see how this matchup's going to work out with Ice going for the Sorcerer. Especially once he realizes that it's Ravener, and on a relatively big map. He should be going for the Teleport Armor pretty quickly to try and match the mobility. And we'll be able to see how he can make that work. But we do see he is going to be Chaos Sorcerer down at the bottom portion of the map. We've got Ravener Alpha at the top, immediately burrowing all the way down to the left VP area and going for this far requisition point. And he is going to be able to battle it out with the Sorcerer over this victory point if they both head in that direction.
As I recall, that actually is basically the same, although Calza4 was on the bottom of this map when he played Steve Budd, but I believe this is roughly the same cap order he used against Steve Budd. Except I think he got this power a little faster. Actually, speaking of which,
to go for like this victory point, the one that's right next to their power, quite frequently. So he seems to like going after that side of the map, try and rumble with them a little bit, prevent them from getting that quick victory point. As we can see, he's going to be able to do that right now. Chasing the CSM into the building, just delaying their capping of that victory point. And if he turns around, he could probably do it again.
But he is going to go ahead and just get to, actually maybe keep going for this power on this side. Nope, he's going to go for the requisition point. But we do see Heretics are moving up to intercept. A little bit of an early doom. Was it early?
No, it suppressed him. He was just barely out inside of range. That was actually really nice by Ice. Realizing
very
the
nice
range
timing
of Doom Blast quite nicely, able to hit him pretty close to maximum range there.
And we are nice Doom Bolt. Yeah, we are going to have to watch on the from the top right side. We've got Spore Mines coming in, but we are going to see the Ice is kind of retreating out here. Not totally retreating, but just backing off. He's going to have to lose that power there. I'm putting a Sorcerer in this building, but these Spore Mines are right here. These are a bit of a garrison counter. But at a bare minimum, they can kind of stand outside here. This Sorcerer's not going to do much to him. So the second the sorcerer comes out, they can hit him. But although, Spore Mine's not necessarily the
Oh,
thing.
the Ravener Alpha's
The
gonna
Ravener
die.
Alpha's low, very low, and the Spore Mines go up. Did the Spore Mine actually kill the Ravener Alpha?
Maybe. I mean, the sorcerer was swinging at the same time, so it could have easily just been a melee swing on a retreating unit because of the fact that
Yeah.
the sorcerer does hit pretty hard. But I think the Spore Mine might have been in range, so it's 50-50 on who actually got the kill there. The sorcerer might be a little bit pissed that he got his kill stolen. Maybe we can ask him after the game, but
Yeah, I really
he was pretty much dead at that point anyway, so I'm not really sure that him blowing up the mine would have really made a difference.
Well, the intent in blowing up the mine was definitely going to be to suppress the sorcerer and prevent him from going ahead and catching up to the retreating Ravener Alpha. But it may have kind of blown up in his face there by blowing up the Ravener Alpha itself.
I've got reverse colors. Do you?
Nope, I actually have proper colors. I am amazed.
Okay. I just figured I'd point that out since sometimes it does match and something to be looking out for. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind, but it's right for you guys on the stream. So if I just completely get it wrong, just fix me, because
Yeah.
I have it reversed and it can be sometimes tough to remember that.
So in the meantime, we have Hormagaunts going ahead. They're just going to go ahead and take down this node and then probably get out of here. We see Ice immediately rebuilding the node, but that costs them 125 requisition to do. Meantime, we've got this Ravener Alpha on the right side going ahead and harassing these grenade launcher heretics. But these Chaos Space Marines are going to back him off without issue. So we have seen that a Warrior Brood is out now for Calzi 4. No upgrades on the Warrior Brood yet, so we don't necessarily know if it's going to stay as a regular Warrior Brood for most of Tier 1, or if it will maybe possibly become a Barbed Strangler. Now we are going to see that the Chaos Sorcerer is forced off in the middle here. And meanwhile, we have the Ravener Alpha going ahead and capping the secondary power source of IceJT, while his the grenade launcher heretics go ahead and capture the requisition point. Looks like the Chaos Space Marines are going to go ahead and capture the victory point up top, but recognize, oh hey, that's a Ravener Alpha at our power node. We should probably kill it.
Yeah, and you can see that Ice is going for Havocs at the moment, so if he is planning on getting that teleport armor, it is going to be just a little bit delayed. Still watching these warriors to see if they upgrade anything, but I mean, just vanilla warriors here, they're pretty good with their chain knockback, leaping into combat. They do some pretty good melee damage, so not necessarily a necessity at the moment, especially since these heretics have the grenade launchers now. He doesn't have to quite worry about them hitting him so hard in melee if they're taking crossfire at the same time.
Yeah, and actually the utility of just regular warriors here is that they do have heavy infantry armor. And against Chaos Space Marines that go for grenade launcher heretics, right now we don't see. Oh, we have Hormagaunts in melee. The bottom right, but these grenade launcher heretics, we see Catalyst popped. These grenade launcher heretics have to get out of there. They're going to lose their aspiring champion. Ravener Alpha's coming up behind. The Hormagaunts will have to get out of there though. So actually that Catalyst is probably neutralized, although actually just getting the aspiring champion there will probably make up for it. Actually, those warriors were upgraded with Barbed Strangler.
The Ravener. Okay, looks like it's all right. He was actually taking a bit of damage there, but he did get a knockback. And the issue is he's so low, he's actually just going to have to burrow out of there.
Yeah, he's actually just making a tunnel, which...
he dies it.
Oh, he does? Wow.
Tunnel. Wow.
And he loses the tunnel, tunnel as well there, so a lot of red just being given to IceJT. And he's saying GG, and he wants revenge. Certainly as well... So I guess we're going to see revenge maybe on Seawall now, go back to that map. But yeah, definitely as any kind of Tyrannid, you don't want to be giving red to any kind of sorcerer for sure. Because you will have Dark Flames all over you the entire game, and let me tell you, Dark Flames are not fun.
Yeah, those 2 hero kills in a tunnel, just like... pretty quickly, so that's 90 red really early in the game, and ouch. So I mean, that's the main reason why he probably just went ahead and went for the quick concede. Wanted to try and do a little bit better, and he is switching over to Hive Turret.
Yeah, and what's interesting is they actually can't see each other's heroes still, so again, as far as I know, they are still the same heroes. They can only see that they're the same race, so we're going to go ahead and get this started up here.
They both switched, so...
Yeah, so we actually have a plate champion and a hive turret now. Apparently I'm only allied with the plate champion, so I can only see that. Can't tell you what
It's still hive
Calcifor is.
turret over here.
Yeah. That's what I figured pretty much, but just a little note of the observer interface occasionally. I don't understand why it is that way. Observer should be neutral.
You count as being on one of the teams. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But that's why I always jump down here, so we've got one of us on each team, so it's not like 3 versus 1 on the loading screen.
Or occasionally the replay, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that happens, but we do see that we are going to have Calzi as the hive turret over on the right-hand portion of Seawall Frontier. His opponent, Ice GT, has switched over to the Plague Champion. It's going to be on the left. And I don't know if that's just an anticipation of the fact that, expecting his opponent to change for the map. Ravener, while being good, if you make good use of the tunnels on almost any map, the smaller map here on Seawall means the slow factor of the hive turret's not going to be quite as major.
Yeah, definitely the hive turret's not going to be hurt as nearly as much for his relative immobility. We are seeing a double Hormigaunt build from Calcifor here. This probably is in response to the double Chaos Space Marine build we saw from Ice JT. Now, of course, so he is Play Champion this time, so we'll see what impact that has. I know the Play Champion, the second you get the sword for the Play Champion, you can just start like almost one-hit killing Hormagaunts, and you will just slaughter Hormagaunt squads almost immediately. Maybe against Sorcerer, that may have been what Calzi was intending. I'm not so sure though if that really is exactly what he wants here against this Play Champion, but we'll see. He does stick with it. He is getting a drill glance on the first squad.
Taking a beating. I mean, this early on, he's not going to lose the hot tyrant, but he's going to have to back off and heal, or have to be really careful with his hive tyrant. And this early in the game, that is going to be an issue with his tyrant taking a lot of free damage there. He's just going to have to be a lot more careful with it in the earlier stages of the game. You can see he was able to take out the node there, but it was right as Ice called down a generator, so he's not bothering to rebuild that just yet, as he will get a nice boost in power from that generator.
Yeah, he will have to watch the node to make sure that no ninja capping really goes on with it, but at the same time it shouldn't hurt him too much. So we are seeing actually Havocs come out instead of another CSM squad, and now these Heretics are going to engage these... Oh, but the Adrenal Glands upgrade for these Hormagaunts finished right at the start of the engagement. These Heretics have to get out of there. They could take on non-Adrenal Gland Hormagaunts, but Adrenal Gland Hormagaunts, they have a very tough time, but now they're being chased by one of the best chasing squads in the game. Meanwhile, Calcifor...
He could have chased that a bit longer.
Yeah, but he already... yeah, he definitely could have, but he's going to go ahead and take the victory point here. He's doing a great job power harass. His Termagaunts are decapping the node. His Hormagaunts are hitting the generator as hard as they can. And he does get the node.
He might lose the squad, actually, if he forced melees. That's getting really low.
He's got 1 out of 8 models left. 15 health, 9 health, 7 health, 3 health. It's down from the damage over time effect of the Play Champion, but all of Ice JT's generators are gone at this point. Luckily, he does have a node in the top here. He's not building on it, though, so these Hormagaunts are just going to start capturing it, which will prevent him from building on it. And we do see that Calcifor has gotten Spore Mines at this point in the game, which is a little interesting. In the meantime, we see Blight Grenades are coming out for Ice JT. These Termagaunts got to be wary in this building here. Actually, they're just going to pop out anyway. But this is, I'm not quite sure why the Termagaunts are standing here taking us. Okay, now they are going to go ahead and retreat. But they're just bleeding models against them that had no chance against. So these Hormagaunts are facing these Heretics again, but they're being suppressed now by the Havocs. The Hive Tyrant's coming up trying to flank.
Hormagaunt squad so early, they had the Adrenal Glands out pretty quickly. That's a big loss. There's still no Toxin Sacks for the Termagaunts. The main thing in this game is that it's kind of a low economy game so far. The middle's been mostly uncaptured. He decaps his opponent's power really early on. So it's not going to be as big of an issue as it might be in a normal game, since both players are pretty low on their income. He's not just going to immediately be put very far behind with that loss, but losing that squad very early is definitely going to put a dent in his plan. He's going to have to adjust, try and think of something else. And, with the amount of resources he had, I was wondering if he might even just straight up rebuild it, but he does go for a warrior squad instead, and we'll see what he can do with that.
In the meantime, we're seeing IceJT is doing a rather good job here of dodging these spore mines and minimizing their effect. These heretics are incredibly vulnerable to these. And but the nice thing here for Calcifor is that these heretics are kind of tied up. They can't really go randomly, willy-nilly about the map right now until the spore mine's taken care of, because they're at huge risk for just being annihilated by a couple of spore mine detonations. So now we see the spore mines go down. We're going to now see the havocs and everything actually is just much more free to move about now. But Calcifor really bought himself some time there. Literally bought himself, because, you know, spore mines do cost resources.
They're pretty cheap though. Like,
yeah, they're 100 requisition and 5 power, but it's still it delays warriors. You know, it does you need to get something out of it in return, I guess. So
yeah.
you need to kind of have a plan for what they're going to do. Meantime, we do see that this play champion is in a little bit of trouble. Heretics are coming up to support, but they don't seem like they're going to be able to really do much here. But now the Hive Tyrant may have to choose between dealing with these heretics, and he actually is going to go charge the heretics. Now these Termagants going to lay right into them, and the heretics are going to have to retreat. In the meantime, we do have, well, we did have Noise Marines building for IceJT. He's canceled them. Looks like he's just going to try and get to tier 2 now. But he needs to grab another power source. Calcifor has Raveners coming out. So this is a little dangerous here for IceJT. And actually, by the way, he also canceled the Blaqk grenades from before. I guess the second the Termagants got out of the building, he decided he no longer needed them.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have saw the warriors down there when he was moving in with the heretics, and if he did, canceling the Noise Marines is probably a decent idea, seeing as there's not much shooting on the field, and the Termagants don't even have the toxin sacks, so they're not really a major threat. He's facing a mainly melee army. If he can bait the, what's it called, the chain knockdown, I don't remember what it's called in the Noise Marines.
Oh, Cacophony?
Yeah, if you can bait the Cacophony out against just a single squad, then they would be under a lot of danger from all these melee squads. So skipping the Noise Marines, actually going straight for tier 2 is probably going to be a good idea, even though he is going to get pushed back while he's trying to tech. If you look at the VPs, he's actually got the lead at the moment, so he's not really too concerned about losing a bit of VPs. The main issue is going to be this power farm down here getting harassed again. Heretics going into combat with the Warrior Brood. The Warrior Brood is taking some fire from the base at the same time.
Actually, the Havocs right in front of the base there. I'm not sure. Maybe the base turrets run out too, but I definitely saw the Havocs were actually the primary thing that was really hitting them pretty hard there. But yeah, the one thing with the Noise Marines though too is that they can be upgraded to Blastmasters, and that could have been part of IceJT's tier 2 strategy. But actually he's going for Bloodletters here, which is again kind of interesting with this melee heavy composition. Bloodletters generally aren't known as a kind of unit that is very melee focused.
This heretic squad is taking some pretty heavy losses. If Calzi were to move his shooting blob up just a little bit, he could take a couple more shots at this heretic squad and maybe wipe it. But he's able to get the Havocs up into position to make sure that's not going to happen. Good job placing those Havocs just to protect his heretics, and they're not going back to heal.
No, they're not actually, which is kind of interesting. We're not even seeing them worship either. They don't seem to serve any purpose at the moment, honestly, being on the field here. There's just way too many dangerous things hanging around for them. But we do have these Bloodletters out now. They're going to go ahead and immediately go to engage those Hormigons, which would just back off immediately. In the meantime, and actually now they've got the Shooty Blob to contend with, and they have no additional abilities to burn, and they're kind of behind everything here, but we've seen another Bloodletter squad coming in from IceJT.
Interesting.
And now we see, there we go, Phase Shift or Warp Shift is coming in, so they're going to be able to make it back to wherever they need to go with a little bit of safety maybe. Ravener is going ahead, actually popping up. Was it just the right time there when Warp Shift ended, or was that actually in the middle of Warp Shift? It seemed like it was right when it ended.
It seemed to be right when it ended, because it went away right as they got knocked back. So it's either lucky timing or something else. I'm not sure. It looked like it was lucky timing on his part. And he calls in a second Warrior Brood. Like you're saying, Bloodletter's not super well known for their abilities to duke it out in melee. So the second Warrior Brood, if he can make good use of this with the Raveners, and he does get the health synapse, the adrenal glands on the second Brood, that's going to help out a lot. The Bloodletters aren't really going to be able to engage this melee force head to head, and he's got 2 squads of them out on the field, so that's a big investment to not really be able to use as effectively as he'd want.
Definitely, and so we see a double of those, so he should basically have the melee synapse wherever he goes.
Oh, he got a second melee synapse?
Yeah, he actually has it
Wow.
on both warrior models right now, and so we see Calcifer with very good map control at the moment too. Ice is trying to do his best in the top section here. He's trying to get his Havocs out now, though. It's going to take some losses there. We do see his Chaos Space Marines were converted to Zeech Chaos Space Marines, so that's going to make up for a little bit as far as the range firepower he's sacrificing by going for this very Bloodletter heavy tier 2, and that is going to force off this one Warrior Brood. He is now managing to keep these Heretics on the field with a little bit of nice leveraging of that little rock outcrop in there. And
yeah, that's one thing he's going to have to be careful, though, against the double Bloodletter. With that many warriors on the field, if he puts them both on the same warrior squad, and that whole melee force isn't together, he might have a decent chance of trying to take out a model really quickly and forcing that synapse backlash, which if you can cause just one of those, can cause sort of a chain reaction of lots of dead warriors. So he does have to be careful whenever he sees both these Bloodletter squads in the same area.
Yeah, there
Looks
they
like
go.
he's going to go for it. There's only one warrior squad here, and the Raveners aren't anywhere nearby. Warrior's going to go down. There goes the
one.
backlash.
But
he might get a
doesn't seem like
second
much
one.
gets. Oh, he doesn't. The crippling poison is going to stop them from going anywhere. And we're not seeing any abilities pop or anything. Okay, finally we see Warp Shift, and now they're going to have to make their way to a safe position, preferably maybe in the Fire Arc of these Zeech Space Marines. But no, they're not able to get there. They're recognized, and now they're going to have to move somewhere else and probably retreat at this point. They're very low. Oh, they're going for the Hormigons. They get one out of one of them, but they sacrifice one of their own to do it. And I tell you, a Bloodletter model is much more expensive than a Hormigon model. And meanwhile, Ice's power has just been getting bashed just consistently here. And actually, for a cast where he's only got like 37 power right now, it's just quite low in tier 2. Not necessarily that he needs a ton of power or anything. Calcifer, on the other hand, is holding tons of power in requisition right now. Can go tier 3 at any time, and we'll probably see that, actually.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's just planning on playing this Kael'thas style, where he just sort of stays in tier 2 indefinitely, because of the fact that Kael'thas just sort of says you have to use up so much of your resources reinforcing in tier 2 that most of the time you don't even really get the chance to get that tech up going unless things are going really well. So it looks like he is flanking around on this Warrior Brood Bloodletters
and Heretics and Bloodletters.
If he can get a Doom Blast off and get those Bloodletters in, again, he might be able to go after a model, but he isn't going to be able to retreat immediately. He doesn't want to take any more warrior losses. And it seems like that's probably why he went for the double Bloodletters. Like, if he goes up against the whole melee blob of Calcifer, it's not going to work out very well, but if he can catch a lone warrior squad, he will be able to pick off models, cause that backlash, and put them into some serious danger.
In the meantime, though, we are seeing Gene Stealers training from Calcifer, and these should shut these Bloodletters down really, really hardcore. Gene Stealers are just one of the better melee units in the game, and they're just one of those things you do not want to face in melee if you can at all avoid it. Now, granted, the Havoc will help with that, but the Havoc is not going to be the final solution here, as there are Raveners on the field, there's a Hive Tyrant with Charge, all sorts of nasty things here that ISJT is going to have to contend with.
Yeah, and I only just noticed my colors are reversed, so I've been thinking things are doing a little bit better for Ice than they actually were.
Yeah, now Ice is down to 272 victory points, but he does have 2 of the 3 right now, so...
Yeah, and this is kind of a weird game where it's very heavy melee. A lot of games you wind up seeing very shooting-oriented, so don't usually see the Gene Stealers too often, but they're definitely going to help out with this melee-centric game that we've got going on. Plague Marines on the way for Ice.
Now those will actually, they're kind of pretty decent melee deterrents, actually. And actually we see the Gene Stealers backing off.
Double teleporting onto the Warriors, but they retreat immediately. Again, he keeps going straight for those Warriors, trying to cause backlash with those Bloodletters.
I'm not sure why exactly it was, though, that the Gene Stealers have retreated there. It seemed like they were in a position where they would have been able to sneak up behind something. Specifically, they were able to kind of force off the...
Well, the Raveners...
the Raveners are taking damage, or they're taking losses, but they do manage to get out alright, and Calcifer is going to tech to tier 3 and come back immediately. So maybe he just wanted to come back from a better vantage point, better position there with those Gene Stealers. You see the Havoc having to reset up here. It's going to back up and reset up, and that whole blob is mass retreating. But it's not costing him anything. He was able to actually decapture the center requisition, the center victory point, and his Hormiguns actually took a really roundabout path to get to this top one now too. So we are going to see that Ice is going for the power farm, and this, I would assume, is what Calcifor is waiting for. He's moving a big force up here. Big force of Bloodletters coming in too. Huge amounts of knockback from the Warriors. Bloodletters just go ahead and warp shift. Actually, only one squad warp shifts. The other squad is not warp shifting. The CSMs are trapped in melee. They're trying to get out. We've got
really focusing one of those
Warrior squads. Are popping their abilities. They're running.
Down.
And oh man, these Gene Stealers not quite able to finish them off. The Heretics now going to pop up. If they popped Boom Blaster right now, no, they do not. But they're going to keep going into melee.
That Warrior squad go down.
The Blood are out. And man,
40 health. He's going to teleport.
He's going to teleport right in. He's going to try and take it out. Is he going to get it? He gets it. He causes the backlash, and that's actually going to allow him to escape without taking any losses. But now the Warriors are right in their retreat path, along with the High Tyrant. Oh, I thought he was going to charge there, and maybe go ahead and... Oh, he does charge back the other way. We see the Gene Stealers inflicting more losses on retreat. 2 Bloodletters down. We saw the Plague Champion also go down to Gene Stealers. And these Plague Rings here getting over here just a little late.
Get the hell out of there, boys.
Now without support.
Not good place to be for those Plague Marines. They're going to be taking a beating. Those even retreating?
No, they're not. They're just backing up into the space here where the Zeech Marines are going to be able to help them out. I mean, really, the Plague Marines are kind of alright because if you don't mind reinforcing them, they are kind of the units that you want in melee with these Gene Stealers. But if you do mind, replacing them, then it's a little bit of an issue. Ravener's coming right on top of the Bloodletters there. Bloodletter's telegraphing exactly where they're going to be, and then the Ravener is just... like, okay, if you're going to be there, then we'll just pop up right after you. In the meantime, you did see a Psychic Scream go down by the High Tyrant here. That is going to really impact the Bloodletter's effectiveness in melee combat here. It's actually just going to affect just about all kinds of melee combat, whatnot. Oh, we see Touch of Nurgle! That's going to cause an instant retreat here from Calcifor because he cannot afford to kill anything that has Touch of Nurgle on it. Will create a massive explosion, heal everything around it for Ice JT, and just deal absolutely massive damage to any Tyranny forces. Now we do see the charge coming from the Hive Tyrant here on the Bloodletters. Bloodletters trying to run away from the Hive Tyrant.
What's with the Brood Nest? He just dropped it like completely away from everything else and just got insta-gived by the Plague Marines.
I didn't even say I was too busy following the Hive Tyrant, unfortunately. But you see these again. We have the Plague Marines in a bit of trouble here. They go ahead and go kaboom and knock these Gene Stealers back. So they do lose one model, maybe lose additional models. But yeah, again, the combination of these Zeech Chaos Space Marines with the Plague Marines seems like that will work out all right for Ice JT in terms of forcing out those Gene Stealers. But he's got Hormigons on him now, and he's also got the High Tyrant. We have another Colin coming in. No, it can't be Spore. Sporemine is Lifter Alpha. It seems like another Warrior Brood.
Warrior Brood. So and he's up to... Well, I guess it's the second Warrior squad since he did lose the first one.
This Plague Marine, very low on health here. Down to one model.
He does have 200 health, though, so he's not actually going to lose that.
Oh, and look at the positioning on this Ravener Burrow Strike. Sensing basically that the Chaos Space Marines would not be there for long, the Burrow Strike was actually targeted in the retreat path. Just ever so slightly, but it's basically, if the Chaos Space Marines did not retreat, then they would still be affected by it. But if they were to retreat as they did, then the Raveners would be in a position to get some retreat kills. And so very nice position in there by Calcifor. We see again Bloodletters coming up against Gene Stealers, not wanting to do that. They're just going to go ahead and warp shift, try to get away, but they are not very fast at all here. And with the Heretics down, there's no warship support for them either. And warship is kind of huge. We see the Gene Stealers continuing to go after them here. Finally, some Zeech Marine support. And now the Bloodletters are going to turn around and engage, but oh well, they are actually, the Gene Stealers will back off. So
sorry, but I actually do have to run because it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
It's a good game. It's fun casting with you, but I have other commitments, so
yeah,
would like to stick around for the rest of it, but I can't.
No problem at all. Thank you again, filling in for Blaqk all this week. Doing a great job, Raelcun. So again, the reason everyone why we saw the Gene Stealers back off from the Bloodletters in that situation where it looked like they didn't really have any reason to back off was specifically because Touch of Nurgle was cast on them. Touch of Nurgle is a global ability for the Plague Marine champion, and basically when it is cast on a squad, that squad will actually... Let me go ahead and fix volume and stuff now. I've got to figure out why Skype is doing that badly. But anyway, when Touch of Nurgle goes down on a squad, when a member of the squad is killed, it will create an explosion that heals the rest of the squad, and which will, in turn, also do a lot of damage to anything around it. In the meantime, these Bloodletters go in and up. They're just going to go ahead and worship. In the meantime, the Plague Marine is finally back. He's got Blight Grenades, finally. And this Havoc is also back out here in the thick of things. And the second Bloodletter squad is coming out here. Was going to go ahead and try and deal with those Warriors there, but not quite able to. And now we got a full squad of Chaos Space Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines here. This, I think, is the force composition here that Ice JT has been looking for. He's got his Plague Champion back. He's got his Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. And he's finally got the Aspiring Champion and Eternal War on those, along with the double Bloodletters and the Plague Marines. He's going to have to retake some map control, though, because he's only got... Well, actually, he's just capturing 1 victory point. At the moment, he only has 94 victory points to 391. And now these Bloodletters are warp shifted. They've got to watch out. Those Gene Sealers just sitting here stealth and actually alternating Bloodletter phase shifting here. A little interesting. These Havocs moving up here to suppress everything. And here come the Gene Stealers with the Raveners coming up behind. These Chaos Space Marines are going to have to watch out here. They're going to have to get out of here. They're taking huge melee damage from these Gene Stealers. But again, Touch of Nurgle goes down, forces an instant retreat, but not before the Gene Stealers were really able to do some big damage here. And again, no detection here at all for Ice JT because he lost his Heretics, although he never really had Aspiring Champion anyway. But if he did indeed, I mean, see these Raveners going to burrow up on top of the Havocs here and see if they can get some model kills off on them. Plague Marine should be able to move to support. But right now, Ice JT is much more interested in capturing the map. That is a much bigger issue for him right now. We're going to see 2 Warrior Broods going south here, and this actually is probably the perfect thing to combat this Plague Marine champion here. He's going to go ahead and take some shots at them. He's got to get a Blight Grenade down if he wants to have any hope of doing anything here. He's going to go ahead and toss it down. Hits both squads with it. He's in the building. It is doing a little bit of area now right now, but no, not really going to do too much. He might have to pull out a sword or something. He doesn't. It seems like he needs better worm gear. But in the meantime, we have a Swarm War coming out from Calzifor. That will just come out and wreck almost everything that Ice JT has here. He only has a Plague Marine now to really deal with that. And honestly, Ice JT is barely even dealing with the Calzifor is out right now. You see this Bloodletter squad trying to get away here. They may be right in the middle of these Gene Stealers. In fact, they are, but just the slowing aura of the Plague Marines there will allow the Bloodletters to get out safely. Along with the Havoc there doing a pretty good job. These Warriors are backing off now, finally, but they did manage to get a successful capture off, although one of the Warrior squads had to back off a little sooner than the other one. I think, no? Okay, well, actually, we're going for this too, so... in the meantime, they seem to be going for the victory points at this point. Calzifor possibly recognizing he does maybe want it to get to the Swarm Lord, but nonetheless, if the Swarm Lord gets out here, he should be quite alright. You see this Hive Tyrant doing a decent job, but he will back off before the Havocs reset up and do a lot of damage, pretty close range there. So, again, these Warriors here kind of in a little bit of combat with this Plague Champion. But you see the Bloodletters go ahead and recapture the middle victory point here for Ice JT. Ice JT trying to pull off a comeback here from 68 victory points. He is going ahead and bleeding down Calzifor into the high 200s at the moment. But again here, we've got now the Tzeentch Space Marines. They're doing a decent job, but everything is just swarming this bottom area. We're going to have a Blight Grenade spike, which actually, it only affects the forces there of Ice JT, so not really getting anything accomplished at all. And now we got Warriors in the middle and the Swarm Lord up top here. The dual Bloodletters may be able to help with this much, but then again though, this thing is an absolute beast in melee of all kinds. And these Plague Marines are going to try and stand up to it. Possibly Ice looking to catch this thing while it is alone and without support, but that is not going to be for long. The second that these forces finish down here, they will come up top and help out. We've seen this Havoc is continuing to stay as a Havoc. Ice JT just cannot afford to turn that into a Tzeentch Havoc for the last kind of the moment, and it seems like he may not need to anyway, but he did lose a Bloodletter, and his Plague Marines are under assault. We're seeing Raveners just throw up right underneath the Havocs here, and now we've got everything pouring in. A couple of Zeech Chaos Space Marine squads here working their best to do what they can here to inflict some losses, but just absolutely massive losses all around here being taken by IceJT. He's got Touch of Nurgle though on this Chaos Space Marine squad, but that's a little solace for the models he's going to lose. If he actually would have to lose a squad there to really do the proper amount of significant damage he would really like to do. And in fact, this another Bloodletter squad may be going down to this Swarm, but no, in fact they are staying in base, they are warp shifting and reinforcing. So he will be able to keep that up. And this Havoc now is reinforcing again here. These Plague Marines getting some more shots off on the Swarm Lord. And these Space Marines now just going to go ahead and fix Hive Tyrant. But IceJT is bleeding victory points again. He's got to get something to go ahead and capture it. And wow, this Plague Champion has taken a huge amount of damage from the Hive Tyrant. But at the same time though, we've got the Swarm Lord trying to back off here. It's down below 1,000 health now. But it is leeching health at the same time. Therefore, it is going to try and boost its health back up here. And it is not taking damage from these, not serious damage anyway, not AV damage from the Plague Marines here. And in the meantime, we have another Warrior call in. That brings to at least 3 Warriors here for Calciform. And again, this Swarm Lord is just rolling all over these forces for IceJT here. The Havoc set up the wrong way. This is a bug that unfortunately has not yet been fixed. That could be... I wouldn't say that it could cost IceJT this game here, but certainly it is not something you want to have happen at this stage in the game when you're trying to deal with a Swarm Lord, among other things. Then all of a sudden have your primary main AV squad set up backwards because of a bug is just not what you want to have happen. But we are going to see GG come down from IceJT. But again, it was probably GG anyway, and that just kind of cemented it, unfortunately. But he was already retreating just about everything, and so that is the game. Calzi taking it with the Hive Tyrant there, so getting his revenge that he wanted. This time on a different map, Seawall, but Frontier, and exactly 26 minutes too. So I think that probably will, because it's 7:10. I don't think we really have enough time for another game. So IceJT saying that Hive Tyrant's so hard. I don't think he expected a Hive Tyrant, honestly. I think he was expecting another Ravener Alpha. But I believe, let me just double check with everyone here, because we can go another 20 minutes if we have to, but I don't think we really want to take that risk here, because that last game was 26 minutes, so... And I think we'll try and just focus on, we'll try and get actually the Round Robin done via just replays, so that we'll just take the replays, go ahead and cast the replays for you guys. Make sure that we don't have the issue again today where we're just not able to get everyone in here because of other events going on in the community or other things going on and such. You know, we did our best to organize the event as far in advance as we possibly could, but unfortunately we just weren't able to secure, well, the problem was actually we had secured commitments from a couple of players who backed out due to squabbles with other players that were completely unrelated to the event. So, you know, we were kind of scrambling to get the players that we needed, and then unfortunately we had the issue with James Ghilgamesch at the last second on Monday, which kind of changed up the tournament lineup, and I do not believe Tex was intending originally to partake in this tournament this week, so... So that will be the last game. We just don't have time for another one. We're technically already over our limit, but you know, we've got iCup TV2 for as long as we need it at the moment. So, but I believe on Channel 1, the reason why Raelcun had to go ahead and head off was I believe there is some StarCraft 2 going on over there right now. I probably should look up the details on what exactly is going on, but most of you guys actually watching this would be interested in that. Probably already have a better idea of what is going on anyway. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and head on over to our primary iCup TV channel and go ahead and check it out. And yeah, I just want to kind of remind everyone again before I sign off that to check GameReplays.org tonight. It's the Dawn of War 2 section. Actually, IceJT and Calcifor believe there's another game going on, so hold on. So I am right now extending the offer because both these guys want to have another match. They went 1-1 on these two, so no one won the show match, guys. No one won the show match. We gotta have a third match. This has to be decided, right? I would love to go ahead right now and actually have that third match, but again, time-wise, we're already over our limit, and you know, this would just shove us a little too far over. So extending the offer for both players to go ahead and play that, and if they want to give it to us, then they can, you know, we'll showcase it at a later time, but I think they're both just going to head off at this point, so I'm just going to thank them for participating. But anyway, so going to go back to my little ending spiel. Sorry about that, guys. Just want to thank all of our players for participating today. I want to thank Ghilgamesch, I want to thank IceJT. Neither of them had to be here. Both hopped in, though, when called upon. So that was really nice of them, and really helped us out. Because again, we would have had no content today without them. We hadn't even planned on any replays because we knew we had so many games to get through for the round robin. We didn't expect it to be an issue. So now on Friday, hopefully we will either be showcasing. We're gonna have a backup plan, but we will definitely do our best to see if we can get at least some of the matches played via, you know, at their own time, because I know like Tech seems to have a lot of time in about 5 hours from now. So we'll see if we can get all the players that need to play together and playing their matches at other times, so that they'll have everything done and ready, and then we'll really try to do the finals in proper real time. Since we'll only have to have 2 people, maybe it'll be a little easier to organize. And so Ice, again, thank you IceJT, thank you Ghilgamesch, I guess thank you BenEater for coming and observing. Good job at observing. Anyway, so like I was saying, everyone go ahead and check out GameReplays.org after this cast, the Dawn of War 2 section. Also, again, like I said, we've got something going on the main iCup TV channel for StarCraft 2. But for Dawn of War 2, if you're uninterested in StarCraft 2, go ahead and check out GameReplays.org. They're going to have all the details on the upcoming GameReplays.org Open Season Tournament Series that is coming up starting on March 25th. There are 128 slots open for the first tournament. Anyone can apply. There's no skill level minimum, no skill level cap, nothing. So if you are interested in competitive play at all, if you want to figure out where you stand, I highly recommend entering, because this will give you just a great way to do it. It should be a really big, really fun 1v1 tournament, and so, you know, again, go ahead, get on that, figure out what's up, and then if you're not interested in actually participating in the tournament, then again, just go. You may want to go ahead and look up anyway, because we'll probably have some stuff up there as far as, you know, casting whenever it goes, so you can start figuring out how to watch, when to watch. I believe Friday is just going to be 1 round more at night, and then Saturday and Sunday will each have 3 rounds. So a lot of games both days. I believe Saturday and Sunday are going to be relatively early in the morning for the North American audience. I believe it starts at like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, whereas it'll be like afternoon and evening for Europe. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Go ahead, check all that out, and hop back here on Friday. I'm not going to make any promises for what we have planned. We are going to go ahead and try to showcase those games if we can, like I said. If we are unable to do that, we will have other stuff planned. I have been asking for replays on Phase Shift. It was kind of something we showed a replay of yesterday, and I'm not asking for replays so that we can have a daily that is just a full hour and a half of bashing Phase Shift and players that use Phase Shift. I legitimately want replays that are when I say good replays, I want replays that kind of show as many facets of phase shift as you kind of can within the context of having a lot of phase shift usage in a game. So I want games where phase shift swings the game from the other player losing to the other player winning. I would like to see games where the other player is ahead and uses phase shift and is not able to seal the deal. I'd like basically all kinds of games, but I don't really want to see the ones where it's just like, oh no, the Eldar got phase shift in tier 3, phase shift in my army, and then used like Eldritch Storm, Otter Call-in, and 3 Guardians with grenades all at once on my entire army, and it just got wiped. I mean, I think we've all seen enough of that, and I don't think that's the kind of thing we're really interested in looking at the moment. We're kind of more interested in number one, what exactly is the impact that phase shift is actually having on the game, right? Like, we know the impact it has on armies, the impact that it has on individual units, the ability to snipe units, stuff like that. We know all of that, but I don't think we've really analyzed fully is its impact on the game and the outcome of the game, and also kind of like what you can do, because at the moment, unfortunately, Clint Tasker has said that phase shift is not something that Raelcun is looking at, quote, fixing anytime soon, and or doesn't need to be fixed at all. Obviously, a lot of community members disagree with that, but at the moment, that is the state of the game. That is the way the game is. So, if that is to be the way the game is, at least at the moment, as any as competitive players, right, or players interested in playing competitively, the first thing you have to ask is, I mean, of course, you can always moan about that, okay, that should change, right? But the second thing is, you have to play with the cards you're dealt. In this case, that means finding ways to minimize the impact of phase shift. Which is to say, we need to go ahead and, again, like, analyze your replays and say, okay, what can we do to minimize the impact of this? So, again, we may not find anything, because it may just be that bad, or we may find some things. And Raelcun did a great job of pointing out yesterday that a Chaos Lord with Let the Galaxy Burn, if you're able to keep him separated from your main army, such that he cannot be phase shifted while your main army is phase shifted, but is still close enough to kind of get to your main army while they're phase shifted, Let the Galaxy Burn can be an effective counter to keeping Guardians from being able to hop in and toss grenades, right? Because they just would not be able to get there with all the knockback and the area of effect damage and stuff like that. So there are maybe some things like that which can be done, so we certainly want to go ahead and look at all of those. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff we're interested in, that. Just kind of a nice big analysis, which is what this show is all about when we're not doing show matches or mini tournaments or other fun things. So again, just want to let you guys know, if you have replays that will help out with that, please send them to us. We'd really love to showcase those replays, really love to analyze them. And again, no, we're not looking to make a case for phase shift being alright. We're not looking to make a case for phase shift being not alright either. We are simply looking to do analysis, which you can take however you want. So either way, it's going to hopefully be some useful data that you can use to back up your arguments if you have a feeling one way or the other. So again, if you have some kind of bias and you feel like, oh, we may conflict with your bias, please don't even bother using that against us, because ultimately it will be how you use it, how you use what we do. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This has been Dawn of War 2 Daily, I believe, number 8. So number 9 will be on Friday, and we will be back then with something. I will let you know on Friday when we get the cast booted up of what we are doing, because we will know in advance for that one, so it's quite nice that we'll know in advance. So I want to thank, by the way, I forgot to thank Blaqk for coming on the show and helping us out in the interview. So, and again, thank you guys, good night, have a great WOG.